Hello Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we get to catch up on current events and headlines that are in the news. My name is Priska Anyolo and you are watching NMH at 1. Apologies for the slight delay, but here we go and let's get the show on the road. Let's first take a look at incoming news this morning. Namibia last week experienced a marked increase in the number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus. Your COVID-19 monitor for today focuses on new tests performed in each region over the 7 days from the 8th to the 14th of August 2020. Yesterday, the country's total number of confirmed cases surpassed 4,000, with the first cases also being reported in Tsumeb and Grootfontein. Due to community transfer in Windhoek, more tests are now being carried out in Namibia's capital city, as opposed to the Erongo region as the original epicenter of Namibia. In the week up to Friday, 1,423 tests were processed for the Commerce region and 1,171 for Erongo. Testing has also been stepped up slightly in the Oshana and Omusati regions. 153 tests were processed for Oshana and 130 for the Oshodonjupa region. Other figures are as follows: Karas 482, Hardap 176, Omaheke 6, Zambezi 43, Kavango East 15, Kavango West 2, Ohangwena 35, Oshikoro 36, Omusati 30, and 13 tests for the Kunene region. Do tune in to NMH at 1 every day, where we delve deeper into data as regards to the pandemic. Moving on, the Namibia Institute for Democracy will facilitate a public discussion forum on Namibia's housing crisis. It will be hosted on their Facebook site with Herbert Jauch of the Economic and Social Justice Trust, as well as Tinana Machila of Ubuntu Roundtable Discussion having been invited as guest speakers. And another thing, if you have not yet done so, do yourself the favor and look at the Facebook site of the magazine Tourismus Namibia and the Namibia Tourism Expo NTE. It is not only that NMH has begun promoting the NTE, which is due to take place from the 4th to the 7th of November 2020. Have a look at the live broadcast of the Tourismus Namibia magazine of the past Saturday morning and find out about the 5 candidates who will inform you of their travels and holiday experiences, as sponsored by Gondwana Namibia Collection, Journeys Namibia, Qa'an Kuse Namibia Wildlife Resorts, and O&L Leisure, with the fuel being sponsored by Shell and Vivo Energy, of course. Be sure to follow that page if you want to remain updated. And now we bring you a few video clips from around the country. In our first insert, Elizabeth Joseph has covered the handing over of a new laboratory and library to the Koreagap Senior Secondary School by the governor of the Commerce region, Ms. Laura McLeod Kashirua.
On this Thursday, the 13th of August 2020. I'm very grateful to you, Honorable Laura McLeod Kashirua, the Governor of Commerce Region, and Honorable Ruben Shehama, Councillor of Katutura East Constituency, for taking time off from your busy schedule to attend this big milestone in a Koreagap Secondary School, East School in Windhoek. In 2020, Koreagap Secondary School turns 59 years old. History will never be kind to us if we fail to develop this historical monument. When this school was established, it was known as Stats Nam School, that later changed to Damara Royal Primary School, only catering for Damara Nama-speaking children in this vicinity. When the struggle for independence and integration intensified, the name of the school was once again changed to the current Koreagap Secondary School. And as we speak now, the school is pure multicultural and it's open to every Namibian child and staff who are from different parts of the country.
That we are happy and we really do appreciate what you are doing. The only word that we can say is thank you and thank you and thank you again. It is very spacious to allow both individuals and groups work, and I believe that the learners of Korea Secondary School will use it to obtain a better scientific understanding. Currently, libraries have been around for that matter, for a very long time and are traditionally seen as collection of information and services. Directors of ceremony, libraries, laboratories or libraries, they play a significant role in improving learners' performance and enhancing their knowledge. As I observe and witness today, Korea Secondary School, we have been given a well-designed library that must be filled with valuable resources in the form of books and other related types of materials. I think it is now up to us to make sure that it is stocked, and that is when only it can be called a library. So please allow learners, now the school management, allow learners to use it as a place where they can have free access to a quiet place to study and to expand their knowledge. I cannot think of a more befitting way to show my gratitude than saying thank you once again.
Sebastian Chamba, who is the leader of the civil organization TPA, spoke to Kenya Kambowe of the People's Agenda TPA. The TPA is a civil organization and Chamba is the leader of the TPA's branch in Kavango East. This organization is starting a petition to have the two Kavango regions effectively split into 3 regions.
Yeah, hello. This is the leader of the People's Agenda. We are planning to have an online petition that we are going to send out, where we are asking our people to support the idea of demarcating Kavango into 3 regions. We need the 3rd region, which is going to be called Kavango Central, that we are proposing from Mashare to Kapako. This has to do with we have a bigger population as well as diversity. Kavango is very big. The region is about 48,000 square kilometers. In terms of service delivery, I know it's not easy for those who are the administrator out there. Yeah, hello. This is the leader of the People's Agenda. We are planning to have an online petition that we are going to send out, where we are asking our people to support the idea of demarcating Kavango into 3 regions. We need the 3rd region, which is going to be called Kavango Central, that we are proposing from Mashare to Kapako. This has to do with we have a bigger population as well as diversity. Kavango is very big. The region is about 48,000 square kilometers. In terms of service delivery, I know it's not easy for those who are the administrator out there. The employment opportunities as well as the has to do as well with resources distribution. So the whole idea is to make sure that the people on the ground are in contact with their leaders. They can be able to access services, and as well as they can manage actually to access actually any services at a close range, because one cannot travel from all the way from Divundu to Rundu just to come and get some certain services that are not at Divundu. And on top of that, Rundu itself is very big, that the population is around 63,000. You look at Mokwe. Mokwe is also a big constituency that's having around 27,000 plus, and that's where also the marginalized people are. And we need to do these things as fellow Namibia, fellow Kavango. So this petition will go to the Limitation Commission of Namibia. It's going to sit with the chairman, who is Alfred Siboleka. So we are asking all the Kavangos to take part in the signing of the petition. It will be an online one. And if you need more information, you can contact me at 061 6161 522. Thank you.
Ohone Tlhache has spoken to the president of the Namibia Taxi and Transport Union, Werner January, who is talking about the impact of the curfew on Namibian taxi drivers.
As far as I'm concerned, is that the curfew does not apply to the taxi industry at all, because if we go through the regulations of the COVID-19, taxi is regarded as essential service, so that automatically makes them to be operational beyond the curfew hours or the curfew time. Because in addition to that one, remember or imagine there's a doctor that is needed at the hospital, and it's a doctor that does not have a car of their own, and there's an emergency situation. How is that doctor supposed to come to the place of work without being transported by a taxi? So of course, yeah, but apart from that one, we are part of essential service, and it is my advice to my colleagues that they should carry on duty as per normal, as they are used to do it even beyond or before the COVID was instituted, as long as we are still regarded as essential service. And that is what the law currently says. Okay, then if we move to the issue of the taxi price increment, I have evidence with me that indicates that what the law says. The Transportation Act 74 of 1977, section 12, subsection 4 or subsection 3 rather, state that anytime there is a fuel increment, any holder of a permit so legally acquired can then apply or give notice to government, provided that it is done within 10 days of any fuel increment. And now the petrol went up on the 5th of August, and after it went up on the 6th already, I have given that notice. Now, if government probably is having difficulty with the technicality of saying that no, it's an holder, therefore I am advising or calling on 10 to 5 permit holders to come to my office so that we can consult and write a supporting letter on top of my letter already issued.
Next up, we take a look at the front pages of our newspapers and our inside pages as well. But before we get into that, let's take a quick ad break and we'll be right back. And on to our front pages. The Allgemeine Zeitung today leads with an in-depth look at why the lockdown can never be a success in Namibia. This is the opinion of a medical specialist down at the coast, whose opinion was corroborated by a virologist. The complete report has been placed on the AZ's Facebook site, as it simply is too long for the paper. The Republican has focused on the arrest and release against bail of Luther Mostert, who is the CEO of Walvis Bay Ship Chandlers. Mostert stands accused of smuggling chicken products into Namibia by falsifying documentation and in the process defrauding the government of tax income. The Namibian Sun leads with the passing of the sister of the founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma. The elderly woman contracted COVID-19 while having her knee attended to in Windhoek. Her burial is now likely to be postponed to the time after the COVID-19 lockdown. The Namibian once again focuses on the fish rot scandal. This time the emphasis is placed on the lawyer Maren de Klerk, who supposedly paid expenses of the ruling party with ill-gained funds, derived from fish rot-related income which was managed by him. The New Era reports of 2 Namibians who escaped lynching by a mob in Hout Bay in the Cape, South Africa, when a Sangoma accused them of abducting a 3-year-old boy. And on the inside of our country's newspapers, we mostly read identical reports, so this time we only focus on the 3 NMH papers. On page 2 of the Allgemeine Zeitung, you find a comprehensive report which does not only report about the 229 employees who lost their employment through a retrenchment exercise by Pick n Pay Namibia. Instead, it considers the point of view of the Namibian Food and Allied Union, as well as considering the arguments of the employer who tries to survive during COVID-19. The Republican on its page 3 reports about Wilma Dietleff of the Public Service Commission, who tragically died last week. And on its page 3, the Namibian Sun reports of the Namibian lawyer Sisana Manje, who in court successfully refuted a demand by the Law Society of Namibia, who wanted to investigate his accounts based on his alleged fish rot scandal, involvement and connections. Thank you so much. That was the inside and front pages of our newspapers. And now time for another quick ad break. Today, we do not have an interview for you. Instead, Irvin Lauschner recorded this launch of the police force's curfew controls down in Walvis Bay in the Irongo region. You can listen to the Commissioner Andreas Nelumbu, the regional commander of the Irongo region, who addressed his colleagues and requested that they remain reasonable when approaching the public.
Drill Commander, Commissioner Nelumbu, Deputy Commissioner Garber reporting. Parade ready for your address concerning curfew measures for Irongo region, Walvis Bay. Sir, let's go. Right. Peace.
All right, let's work together. Relax. Good evening. How are we? Is there anyone who cannot hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? My corona does not matter. If the corona does not hear me, I'm not bothered. Colleagues, quickly, I think your commanders, before they paraded you here, they told you what our purpose of being here is. Let me go to the protocols. Task Force Commander, senior officers, junior officers, warrant officers, non-commissioned officers, health officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you know me, ne? Oh, okay. I will tell you tomorrow who I am. Colleagues, on the 12th of August 2020, the Commander-in-Chief of the Namibian Defense Force and His Excellency the President of the Republic of Namibia announced some adjustment in the measures of combating COVID-19. The interventions are made depending on the surging of the numbers of the pandemic, not only in Erongo region and specifically Walvis Bay, where it was perceived to be an epicenter. The whole country now, as we speak, has been reverted to stage 3. And then the restriction in our 3 municipal localities, Walvis Bay, Swakopmund, Arandes, has been maintained, and it has been extended to Okahanja, Windhoek, Rehoboth. So this is not, or was not, a popular decision to make. However, it was necessary for us to ensure that the lives of our people are protected. Now, in the adjustment that I just alluded to, there is an introduction of curfew. You know, I know those who were born in the 70s, we don't know what curfew is. But those who were born in 1969 downward, I think you will understand when we say curfew. Curfew has been introduced for the restricted areas, meaning Walvis Bay, Swakopmund, Arandes, Okahanja, Windhoek, and Rehoboth. The rest of the country are just been reverted to stage 3, but the curfew is not applicable to them. So the curfew has been introduced to start as from 20:00 up to 5:00 in the morning. 20:00 in the evening, that is 8 o'clock in the evening, up to 5 o'clock in the morning. Curfew means stay at home. From 8 o'clock in the evening, you stay at home. No strolling around in the street. However, there are exceptions. There are people who are performing essential duties like us. There are people who will be in need of medical services. There are people who will need law enforcement services. You know, there is a thing called the domestic violence. Mother is beating father. So you cannot now send the person back home to be beaten further. So those are the only exceptions. If it is just moving in the street, the name of the game is go back home, go and sleep. The proclamation has been passed. The punishment for disobeying or refusing instruction from an authorized officer is a fine not exceeding 2,000 Namibian dollars or a imprisonment term not exceeding 6 months, or both such a fine, and that imprisonment period. Therefore, colleagues, you are paraded here tonight to receive the instruction or to be ordered that as from today on, yesterday we were doing awareness campaign, but as from today on, 8 o'clock or 20:00, the curfew should be fully enforced. Are we following? So it should be enforced. I always to caution people, punishing people is not our duty. Beating people is not our duty. You have heard of the fine and the imprisonment period of time. And that punishment, if somebody has to be sent to jail, it is a function of a court of law, not for us as security clusters. Are we following? So if a person is met in the street, is instructed to go home, and such a person refuses, take the person to the police station, charge the person appropriately, a case docket must be opened, a fine should be issued, then you tell that gentleman or gentle lady that we meet in court. I would also like to urge the members of the media to take our hand in educating our people in this new regulation. The aim of carrying out the enforcement of this regulation is not punishing anyone. We are just trying to curb the pandemic. We are now at a critical stage. The public must strictly, we all know, if we listen or we read, that the numbers are only going up. 1 day down, 2 days up. So the members of the media are urged to assist us on educating people to strictly comply with number one, the lockdown regulations, the health protocols, washing of hands, sanitizing, the wearing of the masks, and avoid unnecessary big crowds in public. So, ladies and gentlemen, the increasing number of COVID-19 cases and deaths as a result of COVID-19 should remind us all it is up to each one of us to bring a change in a positive direction. In the light of the above, the curfew regulation is declared enforceable from today on. First you ask this person to go back home. If the person refuses or fails, charge the person, so that we can ensure that not only our region but the country as a whole is free from COVID-19 related diseases and deaths. And I thank you.
with that, we have come to the end of today's live show. I've been your host, Priska Anyolo, and thank you so much for watching, and goodbye until tomorrow at the same time and at the same place. Remember to always remain safe and healthy and practice social distancing at all times. Do stay tuned for a short weather update, and goodbye.